Hello folks, this is Margie Roy from 3dcuts.com, and today we're going to be doing the tutorial for the coffee shop for Tea Light Village. This is the second new edition for 2022. Tea Light Village is a collection of many buildings that's been around since 2013, and I've been adding buildings to it every year. You should go to my website at the address shown on the screen to look for additional information added onto this tutorial. I put updates there. Also on my website at this address is a page where I share photographs of how people have made and displayed their tea light villages. You will find all kinds of creative approaches to this particular project. Be sure to check that out and get inspired. I've already cut my pieces here. I used the Neenah cardstock, which is in the tutorial. Be sure to go to the written portion of the tutorial on my website at the address shown on the screen for more details about the materials that I'm using and some of the techniques, plus added things that I learn as we go along. So, Neenah cardstock, I used my premium blade. I used the overcut feature to get fairly nice cuts here for this particular design. I am going to move to the side all of the tiny little pieces. Those are for the furniture in the front yard, in the courtyard, and I'm going to start with the building. So on the building, first of all, we fold on all of the dotted score lines back toward the inside. I use dotted score lines because my machine does not have a scoring function and it is the most universal. I think they work really nicely. Make sure you also fold the door inside. It's hard to do later. Okay, I think I've got all my seams. Now, I put tea lights inside of these, and if you don't cover the windows, you get hot spots. So I like to cover my windows on the inside with a little bit of wax paper. You can use wax paper, you can use tracing paper, you can use parchment paper, whatever you whatever you happen to have on hand. I cut out little pieces that are a little bit bigger than the windows. The glue I'm using is Art Glitter Glue. I buy it from Amazon. This little container I also get from Amazon. There are links at my website. Art Glitter Glue has no glitter in it. I have no idea why it's called that, but I really like it because it dries relatively quickly. I used to use score tape on all my tea light villages, and you can still use score tape if you like that. The problem with score tape, or the advantage of it, depending on what you're doing, is that it sticks immediately. And if you don't get your placement exactly right, you cannot slide it. And I find that I sometimes need to slide my pieces. It's a little too short. Don't forget the window and the door. There we go. Now I am going to start by putting Art Glitter Glue on this tab and on this tab. Art Glitter Glue takes about 4 seconds to really grab. So when you put something together like this, hold it for the count of 4, pressing as you do. And then you'll get a nice seal. I'm going to do the other gable. Again, glitter glue on the tab. And then the last side goes in place right here. A lot of people have done all kinds of creative things with Tea Light Village. And if you go to my website at the address shown here on the screen, you can see photographs of their Tea Light Villages. Not everybody does them in all white like I do. There are all kinds of combinations. So check that out for creative ideas. Okay, there's my basic building. Now, this is going to be the awning on the front. Like so. This piece gets placed on it and glued just for a little more detail. I'll just put some dots of glue along this. I don't think it needs to be totally covered. The curls get bent down. This gets bent up, and we're going to put glue onto this triangle here. It will get positioned equidistant from the two angles here, like so, shading the front door and the front window. There. Then we can also take this roof. This is what people often do, is a different color, the roof. And I put glue not on that, but on this part here. Starting at the peak and centering it from front to back, I position the roof on the front like that. Now we have the sign. This gets folded in half, and it is a coffee cup with a steam. These two little tabs get folded back in opposite directions, like so. That'll allow me to place it. Now I put a piece of Scotch tape across that to hold the cup handle in place. I was afraid I was going to lose it as I worked, so you might want to try that trick too. I'm going to glue in the center here, so these two halves get glued down together, like that. And then I'm going to put glue along this seam here. And this is going to get attached right on the front here, like a sign hanging out over the cafe. There we go, very good. Now, all of these little pieces are for the front patio. I need to weed out these. I have learned with Tea Light Village over the years that all the little accessories blow away when you set them up. And so this is a way to attach them to the buildings they go to and help keep the setup in place. This is going to be a little deck that goes out in front. It's a box. And I'm going to fold all of the edges going in. There, now, this round piece and this long piece will be the table. I need to weed out the squares here. There we go. The two sides come down this way and this way. This will be one side bracket. These are very tiny, and this will be the other side bracket. This will be the base of the table. I'll put a little bit of glue here. Take my tweezers. I don't think I can even do it with tweezers. Do it with my finger. Bring that around and hold it in place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let that dry a little bit and go work on the chairs while that one dries. Okay, the chairs. This is the back of the chairs. These are the two tabs that will hold it to the deck. The sides come in like so. You see that? And the bottom, the legs go down on both sides. And they will get glued in the middle there. I am going to do one side, let it dry, and then do the other side. So here's one side. Match those up. Press it into place and put it aside and let it dry. Now we'll do the same thing with the other one, so it can dry. Here is the back, set to receive my seat. Fold over that side, turn it around, fold over this other side. This is real fiddly work, huh? Now flatten this out and put glue on this U shape right here. And then I'll take this one and line those legs up and glue it right in place. Slide it over, press, and put it to the side to dry. Now let's go back to my table base. The other side bracket needs to be put in place. Put a little glue there. Fold that up and around and into place. Right there. I've got it there. I'll let that one dry. Go back to chair number one. On the other side, I put glue on this U shape here. And this one folds over, lines up, and you can see how that makes a nice little chair. Scale to Tea Light Village size. I'll put that one to the side to dry. This one can now get the U around this part. Fold that over, bring it around. Line it up. A little bit of tweezer work to get it to stick. Okay, there's the second chair. Let's go back to my table base. That, on the round tabletop, just put a glue there, and then you take this and glue it right onto there. Try to get it into the center. This is where you get to move it a little bit. And we'll let that one dry. Now we're going to start doing a partial assembly of this base, but not too far because we want to have access to the bottom. The tabs on the pieces of furniture go through these and they get glued in place. Okay, now I am going to take the chairs first. They go in these two angle ones here in the back. You slide them into the slits like so, and this will hold them in place. I turn it over. You see the two tabs coming through here? I'm going to put glue on the outside of this one, fold it over and glue it into place. And the same on this one. Check on the front side and make sure things look a little square there. That looks great. Now we're going to take this one and slide it into the other diagonal slots. Right down there. And put glue on the outside of this tab and fold it over and into place. And the same with this tab. My tabs were a little long there, so I'm going to cut them off so that they're not over the dotted line. There, I've got my two little chairs in place. The table goes into these two slots. I need to bend these over right at the point where they meet the legs before I put them in the slot. Oh, one of my cross braces came undone. I'm going to have to fix that. That was that last one I did. Dot of glue. Straighten out the tabs on the legs again. Carefully thread them through the two slots. There we go. If you get them both through the same amount, your table will be at the right height. So dab of glue there, fold that, hold it into place. Dab of glue on the other side. Hold that, turn it over, make sure things are square. And you can see my tiny little patio with table and chairs for outside of the cafe. Okay, now we will build the box. These two little tabs are first on the front. We bring those around, hold them in place. We have two side flaps that go in here. Those both get glue. These little ones tuck to the inside. I don't know that glue was necessary on them. The two sides get held up. This comes down. Put glue on the very last tab here that'll tuck into the front on the inside. And then we start just holding things in place. We've made a nice little rectangle that will be the deck outside of the cafe. Right here. Now we have the picket fence, and it can go around three sides of this, leaving a little entryway by the door for people to enter the deck area. So we take the picket fence. I'm going to have it extend back a little bit here so I can attach it to the building for a little added strength. Bring it around here like so. This side, just part way. Cut off the extra. Glue it into place. Straighten up my chairs. We will put glue along here. We will put glue in here. And we will bring this right to the front of the coffee shop and glue it into place. Line it up with the floor. What a charming little shop that is. There we go. I've included a tree. I don't know if you'll want one next to your coffee shop or not, but I think the trees add a lot to the village. There are two dotted score lines that run up the back. On each of them, you fold on both of them, like this. You run a line of glue right down the spine here. You line up the two bases and you glue them together along that spine. Get in there and pinch them. When they dry, you can fold out the 4 sides, and you'll get a tree that stands on its own, like so. There is the Tea Light Village coffee shop. How many buildings have you made? How many villages have you made? If you want to add lights to your tea light village, there are 2 ways to do it. You can use the individual little tea lights that light up and have batteries in them. The village was designed for these to fit inside them quite nicely. Or if you're going to have a bunch of them, you can use one of these LED string lights that has 50 lights on it. This runs by a remote, and it's easier to turn them on and off with the remote than turning on and off all of these little tea lights. I have links to these at my website, and this is how I light up my tea light village. Lighting it is optional, but it certainly makes a stunning display when you do add lights. I'd love to see photographs of your tea light village set up. Please send them to me at 3dcuts.com. Thanks for watching, and happy crafting, everyone. Have a great day.